My name's Nola Gregory, 59 years old, and I was born and raised in the city of Greater Geraldton.
My name's Jenny Gregory. I'm Nola's big sister. I'm 64 years old.
Today we're going to tell you our Nanna's story. Her name is Minnie Ring, and very sad story, but it's for us it's got a happy ending. So Nanna was born up in the East Kimberley in Turkey Creek, Sturt Creek Station area, Frog Hollow. She lived her life up there until she was, we think, 3 years, about
3 to 4 years old.
3 to 4 years old, and that's when she was taken away along with two of her siblings.
Yeah, so they were born in a cultural setting in the East Kimberley. She would have been, well, she was known as a Gidger child from Bungle Bungles around that area, Turkey Creek, beautiful country. They were removed from there, went by horse and cart for 3 months up to Wyndham, and put on a ship, the SS Collier, and brought down to Perth, and that took another 11 to 12 days to get to Perth. So they separated from their country, brought down to Perth, and put into the Swan Native Mission or orphanage at the time that was run by a church order. Anglican church order. Yeah, so...
Yeah, mind you, that boat that they was put on was a cattle steamer, so it wouldn't have been a nice environment for them. They were only like 3 years old, 6 years old and 7 years old, the three of them. So from some of the stories that we've read, they were practically in rags when they were picked up, so it would have been probably, we're thinking more cultural, they would have been culturally appropriately dressed, but for their journey down south, they gave them blankets and stuff to keep them warm. They were collected in Fremantle by the matron of the Swan Native and Half Caste Mission, and they were taken there. They lived all of their lives, all of their young lives on the Swan Native and Half Caste Mission. So from the age they were born to 3, 4 years old, 6 years old, they knew a mother's love, father's love. After that it was just raised in a mission environment.
So when they went to that mission, they were indentured, as they call it. So they went to school, lived in dormitory-style accommodation. Uncle Owen, who was her brother, lived in the boys' dormitory. They were indentured out to work. So Nanna was known as a service girl, so she went out and did domestic duties in people's houses in Perth, like people who could afford a maid. So that's what she did. And Uncle Owen was working on farms and different places like that. So at the time that this happened, as I said before, it was under the 1905 Act. So that Act was very active around that time and actually controlled everything that these children did. We've got files on Nanna and Uncle Owen which are quite sad to read, because every element of their life was recorded from a perspective of someone who didn't really know them, and comments made about where they come from, their aboriginality, about being quarter caste, the reason for being removed because their father was a white station owner. So there was, under that act, sort of trying to assimilate these children and grow them up as white children. And Nanna made her journey from when they were 16, I think she was 16, Owen came to Dongra to live and gained work in the area, and then went on to get married to a lady from Dongra, and Nanna came up and stayed with them for a while, then eventually settled in Geraldton at one of the reserves here, the camps, Hospital Hill, which is behind the old hospital, Bluff Point Video Store, where that is or was, that's where there was a camp, and so they were quite mobile, moving around on the outskirts of town. But yeah, so she had all her children here. At the age of 52, She fell ill and was taken by the welfare to Perth and buried in a pauper's grave when she passed away about 6 months later. So no one from this family, even though she had 8 children, did not know that she'd passed away and could not attend her funeral.
Yeah, that's where the story is picked up by our cousin Hazel Kelly, who we just recently lost, and she searched for years and years to find Nanna. I actually went and found her too at the cemetery. I was really sad when I found it. It was in an area where they were redoing all the graves, and she had another 2 or 3 people buried on top of her. So Hazel, or HK as we called her, was in the process of arranging for Nanna to be repatriated and brought back to Geraldton here. Unfortunately, on a trip up to visit the family that we just reconnected with in Turkey Creek, she lost her life. But we decided to bury Nanna with her in the grave. So finally we were able to bring our Nanna back home here to her adopted country. Sadly we weren't able to take her back up to her own country, but a lovely thing that happened is we've reconnected with a lot of her family from Turkey Creek and found out a lot of lost connections that we've got, and they were able to attend the funeral service, and they did want to dance, but unfortunately someone passed away up in Turkey Creek, so they weren't allowed to. Actually, something that was really beautiful that happened, the guy that arranged the funeral for us, we all waited on the side of the highway where the old reserve used to be, out in Rangeway there, and he was waiting for the guy to bring Nanna's body or bones back from Perth, and all of her grandchildren, great-grandchildren, everybody waited on the side of that highway till about 9 o'clock at night, just to wave her past and to welcome her back home.
Yeah, you often hear comments about, like stolen generation and saying that was back there, but we're testament today that it still has an impact, and we're in 2020 and she was removed in 1905. So all that time we were looking for her, we finally reconnected. So it was a long journey, looking in pigeonholes to find information on her, native welfare files, government documents. That's the only way we could reconnect where she came from, because they changed her name, they changed her identity, but resilience shone through. And HK, who we call Hazel, HK who passed away, rest in peace, she went on that journey for many years looking for Nanna, looking for her people and trying to find out that information, and she died doing it, and she was such a strong lady like her Nanna, and we salute her for that, for finding that out.
Thank you for listening to our story about our Nanna, and hopefully you'll be able to learn a little bit about the stolen generation and how it actually impacts on people. I'm 4th generation, Jenny's 4th generation, and it still impacts on us to this very day. So thank you for listening. We are Kidja Badi Jawi girls. Thank you.